What's up? Got a Twosun. Oh, good spinner. Kind of bulky in the center. Maybe a bigger piece. Okay. Yeah, I've been waiting for this one. I'm excited. New model. Look at that. Wow. Very cool. Let's get rid of the packaging. I almost bought two of these because I think there's 2 or 3 different versions of this one. There's a full titanium one. There's this one with this, what is that, G10 or maybe a micarta insert in there. There's a couple of different versions. Let's get that blade out. Front flipper maybe? Ooh. Okay. Interesting. Maybe it's that. Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. Alright. There we go. Interesting. That's pretty nice. Wow. What do we got here? It's a ts483 14C 28-inch steel. And utilization, I think is what that says. Let me see. Let me get a little closer look at it. It looks like utilization. Utilizator. Interesting. Well, I mean, I'm struggling to get in the knife. I mean, I gotta get just right. The jimping on here is not sharp at all. Like, this is not sharp. So getting in here is not, there I can, wow. I mean, getting in this knife is not what I would want it to be. Man, let's get in it. I'm going to get a reference on this right here and see if there's tension on this detent that I can relieve a little bit. Because, man, getting in there is not very cool. Yeah, so I almost bought the plain titanium one as well, but I did not. Let me see if it'll help if I... Yeah, that helped. Yeah, that screw goes into the pocket clip from underneath. Okay. I mean, there's not a lot of tension here. I don't have much room there at all. There is a ton of oil under here. So we'll get that oil for sure. And then I'm going to try to adjust this detent a little bit because it is not easy to get into this knife. I'm going to pull all this because if there's this much oil on this side, I'm going to say there's just the same amount on the other side. And yeah, it's really oily. All right, let's wipe it all down. Lots of oil here. Beautiful, tall, flat grind blade. Really nice titanium scales. Very concerned about this action because this is another one. I've had a couple recently that I really like the knife, and this one just visually I really like it. So far in hand I like it. It's very comfortable. Look at it's got micro milling on the scales up here and here. Yep. This side has the same milling. Now, on this side, I'm going to have to remove this liner lock insert. I mean, I'm thinking G10. Yeah, G10. Pretty cool concept. I mean, they can put whatever they want in there. They could put Damascus in there, do a upgraded steel version of this somewhere down the road. You know, I'm seeing that kind of modular option on some of their knives lately. Makes sense because they do Twosun tends to re-release a piece down the road. You know, they'll do an initial run and get them out, and they have a lot of pieces right now, you know, over the last, 6, 8, 12 months that are re-release pieces in upgraded steel. And so to do this modular design like this one, like I say, they could, instead of the G10 in here, they could micarta, they could Damascus. You know, they have a lot of options. It's a simple insert, and then the basic scale stays the same here. Makes sense. Smart. And if you don't re-release it, no harm, no foul, right? But like I say, right now my concern with this piece is the getting in the knife. The jimping's not very sharp on the spine, and for the front flipper, and then the fuller is not sharp at all. So there's no bite with the thumb or with a spidey flick. So yeah, I mean, getting in the knife right now is kind of a concern. T6s, yeah. And there's not a lot of detent here. So I'm not really sure if I can affect this action much at all. But I'm going to try. get my reference point. And I think I can just hold it, maybe adjust it with my hand. Yeah. I think I definitely did too much. I got to put a little bit of that back. Yeah, let's try it. I may have to do this one over and over and over again. Yeah, that looks like too much, but it's hard to tell until I get a screw in the back of that and press that down. I mean, it might be okay. We'll see. It's going to be really close. Really, really, really close. We'll see. I'm going to hold up. Well, I have to put everything on it now that I'm looking at it. There's no way to assemble this knife without putting everything back on it for me to check that detent. I don't have to do the pocket clip. I can just do this. Yeah, I can hold off on the pocket clip. At least it's one little step of assembly. Hold on. Big stop pin. Yeah, nice. We'll put a little bit in that track for the detent ball running here. I'm going to put this back screw in just to create some tension now. Of course, there'll be more alignment once I get the pocket clip on and this other screw, but right now I just want some tension here on the pivot and then here in the back. We're going to test that lock. I mean, the action's way better right now. Yeah, it failed. Okay. I mean, I can function it now. Spidey flick, thumb flick, top flipper. I mean, it all runs really well. Unfortunately, it's failing. So I'm going to have to put a little more tension back on that. Yep. All right. Well, trial and error, man. The uptick is on this process now is that I don't have to disassemble anything. I'm just going to look here, get a reference, where am I, and I'm going to pull that out a little bit. Now, I have to be a little careful because I don't like putting tension on these screws. I've snapped the head off of a screw before putting tension on this, so I want to be kind of careful. But I think where this is lining up right here, it's just inside that. The edge of this is just inside of this right here. And I think I need to get it just outside that edge. So let's see. Maybe. I'm going to try it. Could be small increments, you know. Just the tiniest little bit could make it right. And so I don't want to go too far. Like I want it, because it's running well right now. So I want to maintain that action if I can. Because the way that it came out of that box, not feeling it. It wasn't good, man. I couldn't get in the knife. I mean, I could, but I shouldn't have to strain to get into a pocket knife, a folder. It should be intuitive in, you know, open and close. But mostly open. Like if it's not super intuitive closing, that's okay. I had something on my glasses. I had to wipe my glasses. Yeah, so what I was saying is, you know, doesn't have to be super intuitive to close the knife. And some would argue, well, you know, you got to be able to, you know, like what if you had to go to your primary or something, you know. Well, you can always throw it down. You know, you don't have to. I mean, it's super slick still. I don't know if I made any difference in it. It looks the same. Yeah, I don't think I changed it. Still failing. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's put a little tension on it. Let's for sure get it outside of the scale. So I need about 1/10 of a millimeter. I mean, it's out there now, but I'm going to move it just a hair more. I'm going to get a towel assist here. It's going to rough on my finger. All right, no, I'm not. Just got to suck it up and get my finger under there. All right, I'm just outside now. Here, let me show you. See how it's moved? The inside of this is just to the outside of that now. Hopefully it's enough. If not, we'll be doing it again. Like, I'm going to keep putting tension on it until it locks up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any choice. I don't want a knife where the, you know, the lock fails. I mean, we're locked up tight. So, the moment of truth. Oh, it still failed. Yep, more tension. All right. Okay. I took it apart, put a little more bend on it. Let's check the action. Yep, Spidey flick's still there. Thumb flick is still available. Front flipper. There we go. I mean, it's just, I think it's a great example of you got to be patient with a deal like that and just work. Try a little bit, put it back, try a little bit. It's a lot of trial and error. I think I'm going to have to loosen this to get that in there. There we go. Pocket clip is recessed down into that titanium scale, so I like that. I'm a fan. You know, one screw, it's hidden, so it gives it a really nice clean look. Very cool. Let's check this detent again. Make sure we're solid. Are we centered? I think I could put Spidey flick, drop shut, hydraulic, thumb flick, front flick. All right, very cool. All right, let's grade this action. Put everything away. All right, here we go. So, access to the lock bar, this is lowered a little bit, scalloped on the liner lock itself. Very intuitive to get to that unlock. Drop shut, smooth hydraulic action. The Spidey flick, it takes a little risk because there's just no, it's not sharp here. I mean, that's definitely a manufacturer design issue. It's just, it's so smooth. It's like, I mean, if you just bought one of these, you may be really unhappy with it, just because, I mean, I've had to tune this as light as I can get it for that to function properly. And it's still not 100% because it's not sharp at all. It's very refined and polished and smooth. Now, if I put my finger in it and some wrist, it comes out of there pretty good. Pretty sure if I had a leather glove on, the leather itself is probably going to bite into that blade. You know, it's definitely sticky. Yeah, so I mean, I can function it with a glove for sure. Not 100%. What about that front flipper? Yeah. I mean, so let's get rid of the glove. I'm trying to like it, y'all. That's what I'm doing. I know I am. Because I do like it. Like, look at it. Come on, man. How did I not want to like this? It'll be interesting to see what other people think about this, but yeah, I failed it. I'm going to give the action a C. Yeah, that's the best I can give it. It's just not like there's no consideration for getting into the knife. This is smooth and polished. The jimping is not sharp here. Could I take my little file and sharpen this up? Would it make a difference? 100% it would. If I just sharpened this jimping, can I sharpen this? I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm set up to sharpen that. Like, it's not sharp at all. It is smooth, smooth, smooth. Now, can I make it run? Yeah, but it's not intuitive at all. Like, you gotta focus and pay attention, man, to get in this knife. Yeah, so C's the best I'm gonna give it. It's average at best, man. For such a cool knife, it's a real disappointment, the action on this. The ergonomics, so not so confident, very confident. I mean, I'm packed in here pretty good. I'm going to come up short of a confident grip. Like I say, the jimping's not sharp at all. I can just push past it. No real finger guard here. So if I was to come forward with this knife and meet resistance, I don't have a good sense. Like even the jimping that was cut into the G10 is smooth. Like it's all really smoothed off. Like there wasn't a sense with any part of this knife to say, hey, let's put a confident grip on it. Let's sharpen this up. Let's, I mean, this jimping's fairly sharp, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of inconsequential back there. It's comfortable in the hand though. The shape of this knife, and I mean, I think that's why it's kind of disappointing, because the overall shape and, the overall ergonomic of the knife, I really like. It's very cool. The pocket clip kind of disappears in there. Speaking of that, let's check that pocket clip. I think it's going to be fine. Eyeballing it, I think it's going to run well, but let's see. Thick stuff, triple seam. Yeah, it kind of run out of room up here at the top. I think if I do it twice, it'll go. The second time's usually a charm. Yeah, I can get it all the way in there now. And that's, that's a F5 clip right there. Here in standard jean size material, it's got decent tension, but it would shake out. Yeah, it needs some tension added to it. My spot here in the back pocket, it's going to be the same thing here. It's got tension, but it's a heavy knife, so yeah, it hung up here on that seam on that pocket, but I think it would have popped out of there as well. So, I mean, as it's set up, I wouldn't want, the ergonomics kind of sell that anyways. I wouldn't consider this knife as like a legit backup or potential self-defense knife, just because the action is so fumbly. I wouldn't be confident that I'd get in the knife if needed. It's like I'd end up going and then the knife don't open. Yeah, there's not a confident opening. C-level action isn't going to make it in my pocket, which, listen, qualified immunity, right? Like, I collect Twosuns. I wouldn't buy this and have any intentions of actually putting it in my pocket. But if you're looking at it thinking, man, I dig that, I'd like to carry it, I'm assessing it from that perspective. It's just so inconsistent in the action and average at a C. I would never carry a C for potential, self-defense purposes, backup or primary. What about safety on the knife? I wonder if there's blade contact anywhere. No, it's good here, and the tip is recessed. So, from that perspective, I think the clip is good. It just needs a little tension. The tip is good, and I'm confident I can handle this knife any way I want as long as the blade is closed. I've had to lighten that detent so much, I wonder now. Yep, I can just shake it out of there, because otherwise I can't get in the knife. Yeah, see, I can just shake it out of there, which isn't great, because now in the pocket, I mean, get jarred around, and, this thing could potentially, in the pocket, end up here or something. You're reaching in and that blade's out, Well, the knife's not going to be safe with that blade out. Yeah, so, wonder if the knife is sharp. That 14C from Twosun. I mean, it appears to be struggling. Let's see. Nah, it's pretty sharp. Yeah, it's very sharp. All right, well, price and availability. Let me run it down. All right, so there's some live auctions at the time of this video. I don't know that there will be when this video drops, but there's some live auctions, and I would expect to find this at a live auction somewhere around $75. White Mountain Knives has this version, the plain titanium version, and then an anodized plain titanium version. This version right here is $110 minus the 10%, puts you right at 100 spot, a hundo. And the other one is like $9 more. So plain titanium or the anode titanium. Now the plain titanium is the same price, a hundo. The anodized version is $120, so it's like $108 for it. The anodized plain titanium version. Yeah, I mean, all in all, man, such potential here if we would have just refined how to get in the knife, you know. And maybe it's just me. I'm a bumbler, you know. Maybe you'll pick it up and it will function 100% of the time, you know. And sometimes it's training, you know. Like if I put this in my hand and work with it a bunch, I mean, I haven't failed it in all of that last, minute that I've been running that action. It's just, it had the potential to really have A-level action if this was just sharp and sharp on the jimping. So, anyways, ts483. Appreciate y'all watching.